everyone, I'm Kelly D and today I'm making one of my favorites. We're making fish patties. This appetizing dish can be used as an appetizer or a part of your main course. So let's go over the ingredients. We have 3 fish steaks. Now you can use any type of fish, but I'm using billfish today. I would have prepared the fish beforehand, so we cook the fish for about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure it's tender in some oil, some salt and some seasoning. And when we're getting ready to put our patties together, we're going to remove all of the bones from the fish. So 3 cooked fish steaks. We have 1 large potato already cooked and cut into nice cubes. My favorite Bajan seasoning, it always elevates any dish that I'm using it for. So we have 3 tablespoons of Bajan seasoning. We have half of a small onion and half of a small sweet pepper, which I also chopped. And our spices, we have 1 tablespoon of curry, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of white pepper, just to bring the heat. And as we're going to be frying it, we're going to use that double breading method. So we have some breadcrumbs, some white flour, 1 egg for our egg wash, and some oil for frying. Now we're going to start to put our patties together. So off camera, I would have removed the bones from the fish and these bits of dried blood. I mean, this is just a personal preference, but I always remove those bits of dried blood from whatever I'm using. It just, I just hate to have it in my food. So I would have removed that and the bones. So we're going to break the fish up now. So I'm going to use a fork. As the fish is already cooked, nice and white, just look at it. I mean, if you wanted to eat it like this, you actually could, but we're making patties, so you just need to just control yourself. We're going to make our patties. We're going to break this up, then I'll start to slowly add the ingredients, and then I'll show you the next step. Now I'm going to add the potatoes, and as the potatoes were also pre-cooked, it's easy just to mash the potatoes into our fish. Now ready to form our patties, and you would have noticed that I did not include any salt in the ingredients. That's because the potatoes and the fish would have been cooked with salt, but at this stage you can adjust your seasoning. If you taste it and you realize maybe it wants a little more of something, it's at this stage that you can add whatever additional seasoning that you want to. If you think it may need a little more salt, it shouldn't, but if you think it may need a little bit more, you can add it here. Or if it needs a little bit more pepper, if you know you want to really spice it up, then it is at this stage that you can go ahead and do that. So we're going to form the patties now, then we'll prepare them to fry. We're going to start to form our patties. Now I'm using a really large spoon because we want our patties to be consistent in size, and we're going to form them nice and tight. You shouldn't have any excess water or anything like that, but if you have water because of the potatoes, make sure you squeeze all of that water out. We're going to form our patties, nice shape, and put them aside. So I'll go ahead, I'll form a couple of them, and then I'll show you how to prepare them to fry. Now this is the last one for our first batch. So once I have this one all finished, we don't want it to be too high, we don't want it to be too thick, so nice and flat. We're going to start to bread them. last one. This is our last fish patty in the first batch that we're going to use. Now I would have used my hand to dredge it in the flour, then to dredge it in the egg wash, and then into the breadcrumbs, because it's easier to do it with your hands, because you can be gentle with your hands, and if you use a tongue, chances are it will break apart. So if you prefer to use the tongs and you are gentle with your tongs, go ahead, form your patties, dredge it in the flour, dip it in the egg wash, and then dredge it inside the breadcrumbs. But if you prefer to use your hands, just get your hands all dirty, take your time, be gentle, and you can have your patties formed. Now we're going to get ready to fry. Our oil is now ready for frying. We're shallow frying, so not too much oil, just enough to cover the surface of the pan. Make sure the oil is nice and hot, so as you can see the steam. Our oil is ready, so we're going to get ready to put our patties in. Ooh, hear that sizzle. We're not going to crowd the pan too much. We're just going to put a couple of them in. We'll allow them to brown on either side for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll flip them over. Our first batch of fish patties are done, and they smell simply amazing. Just look at that lovely golden brown color. They're still a little bit hot, but it's time to taste. The lovely crust on the outside. The perfect bite. Fish patties? Now you need to try it.